Kia ora watu. Well, a warm welcome here to Murray Halberg Park, and it's the home of the Marist Saints for our first game in the ARL coverage of the Fox Premiership of 2023. It's the Pool C qualifier, it's the Saints against the Tigers, and it's really great to have you with us today. My name's Dale, and with me today, Daniel McKenzie from the ARL. And Dan, great to be calling with you for a start. It's always exciting, isn't it, the first game of a new season, and for many young guys on debut today, it's a real fillip for them and for their whānau as they, I guess, express the pride of getting them into the top side. Good to be with you today. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, Dale, it's a pleasure being with you, mate. And for these young boys on debut, you know, they want to get the little jitters out of the way first, really get in for a few early touches. I think that helps settle the nerves. But, you know, it shows the progression that they've done, really grinding it out, really getting involved and sticking with it. And, you know, they're reaping just rewards in it. But, again, with Northcote and Marist, sort of the same situation with them losing a few but bringing new crop in. So it'll be interesting to see how they both go together.
Well, we arrived today, could hardly recognise the place, to be honest, with all the developments around. Let's have a look at the Tigers lineup. Bit of experience in there, a few guys in their early 30s. Kevin Locke, obviously a name that stands out, but there are a lot of young, talented players. And hats off too to the coach, David Barner. He had a wonderful career. He's been playing as well, but coaching, and looking forward to season 2023. It's a qualifying round. When we get into the Marist Saints, it's Simon Ieremia who's their coach, and of course he's been a Saint for a long time, hugely respected in our code. And keep an eye out here for Dukes Koiva, who's a very talented ball runner. He's played some representative footy, and Emmanuel Ferre, who also is super talented as well. So it's going to be important how they get away to a start today. And Dan was kind enough to catch up with some thoughts and caught up first up with the Tigers coach, David Barner.
I'm joined by head coach of the Northcote Tigers, David Barner. David, how are you, mate?
Oh, we're excited for the season to start. Yeah, a little bit nervous too, but no, it should be good.
And with the success you guys had last year in the championship, making all the way to the final and winning, what are you looking to carry on for this season? Expectations high or not?
I think that's its own result. We've basically got a whole new team, so yeah, we'll put that last year and we'll just build on what we've got this year.
And I expect the boys have gone through a grueling pre-season with the qualifiers coming up first and looking to hopefully progress into the Fox comp itself with the 12 teams going through.
Oh yeah, definitely, that's the goal for us. Yeah, the boys who have turned up have done it really tough, but I think it's created a bit of unity and a core group of players who are willing to do everything for this jersey and for this club, so I think we'll see that today.
And I see one standout name on that team sheet playing in the halfback position, Kevin Locke. He was playing fullback for you guys a bit last year. What influence do you think he's going to have on the game, and it's going to be a big one from him?
Oh, I think we have a massive influence on the game today. He's a quality player, he's a quality leader for us, and he's a Tigers local, so I think that'll show with just his skill and the way he brings boys with him, so looking forward to it.
Good luck today, David. I hope the boys have a good first hit out for you.
Awesome, thank you.
I'm joined by Simon Ieremia, head coach of the Marist Saints. Simon, you ready for the first hit out of the season? Should be a good one for you boys.
Yeah, we've had a big pre-season just with core boys showing up, so they're really keen to get into the first game of the preliminary games.
And how many of your boys have you retained from last year? Because that's going to be an interesting one for a lot of the clubs going around too.
Yeah, I lost quite a few to Australia and then a few boys to other clubs. So I think from last year's squad we've got about 7 or 8. So yeah, definitely it's hard, but we'll get there with those boys.
And your expectations for the season, what place are you looking to get in and how well are you looking to do coming out of the qualifying rounds of this Fox comp?
Hoping that we make it into the Fox comp, we're looking to aim for that middle of the table mark or even try to get to the top 4.
And blustery conditions out today, that's going to play a little bit of a factor in for your team, and how are you looking to navigate those?
We're just going to make sure that we do get our boys working, getting hard carries out of, into the wind, so that when they do go to kick, that when it does get held up, at least we're there. With the wind, we'll probably kick early and try and turn these guys around.
All right, well, good luck today, mate. Your boys will really be up for it with the first hit out of the season. Good luck, mate.
Cool. Thanks for that, Dan.
Well, great to have you with us here, and big ups to the Auckland Rugby League and the Stream Shop bringing all the action across the internet, which means it's being viewed in Aotearoa, yes, but it can be viewed by your friends, whānau, who are dotted all around the globe. if you've got an interest in rugby league, then this is our premier club competition in Aotearoa, and Anthony Elliott will be in control. Murray Halberg Park, of course, the name of one of our most prominent sporting heroes and identities here in Aotearoa, and the Marist Saints Club is synonymous with effort over the years. They've turned out some fantastic footballers right through the generations, and Dan, these young guys who are on debut for the club, I think even though the whare might be looking old in comparison to all of the townhouses that have sprung up beside it, you know, the reality is it's been a breeding ground for some super footballers over the years gone.
Yeah, it has, and we've seen the likes of Jerome Ropatu, who's now involved with the Bay Roscoe Vikings. He's running Kiwi Tag down there with his wife Leah and the family all in that as well. You've seen the likes of Deloise Hoitza, who I've had the pleasure of going to school with his younger brother, and you know, Deloise didn't have too much of a steady run at the start with injuries being it, but he's come back into the Broncos, looked steady. Really enjoyed his footy the last couple of years. He's got the opportunity, but you know, Marist a quality breeding ground along with the likes of the other central clubs. And Mount Albert just up the road again, they got one in the Warriors, Aidan Eklund, and he's done well for himself. But I reckon these kids will really want to put their hand up and really show what they're about today. It'll be interesting.
It's going to be a class game. Part of the reason that this clash was chosen is because of the structure of the competition, as we just await the coin toss, but deliberately focusing in here on Murray Halberg Park to start us off. Plenty of games are going to be covered across the year, but this is a good one for us to start with.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a nice close contest, I reckon. I think both these sides really looking to put out a good first hit out for the season. We've seen round the ground that there's going to be a few sides that are going to be playing not lesser opposition, but one where they don't have as much skill and as much talent as what they would in their squads. But yeah, this battle is going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to go right down to the wire, this game.
Looking forward to it. With us, Dan McKenzie. Dan will explain the structure of the competition. We're effectively in 4 pools of 4 to start the season off, and the bottom placed team out of those 4 will go into a different section after a month. We'll let you know through the course of today's commentary how that will all fold out. But everyone gets a chance, and these early rounds, a chance for teams to play against the big guns when they tend not to. I'm talking the Jaguars from Pakuranga, the Scorps from Otara. But these two teams, they're well entrenched in top side. This is Emmanuel Ferre, who will be kicking off for the Tigers here. Interesting character. And of course with with Fijian connections, and he's just back from Aussie. I think he spent a bit of time over there, so it's going to be interesting to see how he goes today. So he's underway here for the Marist Saints. Emmanuel played up in Toowoomba. It's his 3rd year with the Marist Saints. There'll be a bit of to and froing, I guess, as they get underway. Just as we've seen in Warriors games, it's super important to have some focus on defence, because you can very easily concede early and make the run home tough. So they'll be happy with that. The Saints with an opportunity off the bat. Anthony Elliott is in control of the action, and again acknowledging the referees who make our game run, and the willingness of them to get back in with the whistle. Described as the best seat in the house, and if they've got the best, I guess we've got second best there.
Yeah, it does look like we have second best. They can watch the footy right in front of them, having all that big hits unfold, and we've got the second best seat. You know, we can still hear it through the effects mic, but again, credit to the referees. They're an integral part of the game. We need to make sure that we're keeping them on our side and really making sure that they're really looked after, because that's what it's important to, looking after the volunteers at all the clubs along with the paid volunteers as well. So some do it for free, some don't do it for free, but then again, you go back to the mums and dads who used to drop these boys down early to training, and they'll be really wanting to represent their family well.
Marist with a opening opportunity for them. It's out to Koiva, who feeds on to the big prop forward on the Boyle Payne. He's pulled down 5 short of the line, and now there's a run out to the right-hand side. Thuray gets the ball. This is clever and smart football, and it didn't take very long. First try in there for Javan Manukau-Powell, and they've certainly issued a challenge early on in this encounter. Just a couple of minutes in, and it's Marist Saints up 4-0 with a try about 20 metres to the right-hand side of the post.
Yeah, it was a good little block play heading down back to their right side. They had a nice lead runner through the hole, and as you see, so they just down their left-hand side, the right-hand side, apologies, drops one through and, you know, spinning out a 1 tackle 2, and the fullback, Manukau Powell, there crossing over the line. But it was just all a little easy, down to that Northcote mistake inside their own 20, and not how they want to start the game, but they'll want to really make amends for it.
Well, Manukau Powell, he played his junior footy for the Bay Roskill Club, and also he's just 20, and his second year in the top side. He didn't have to do too much there because the good work was already done in the lead up with some power running by the Akaola brothers. They're 9 and 8. Affair in the 8 jersey, Sunia in the 9, and big responsibilities on them with the captaincy as well for the latter. This is Therai, who looked to add the extras. We're shooting back towards the clubroom side of the ground here at Murray Halberg Park. It's this one, it'll swing around to the left, it doesn't pick up. Both of the clubs, though, are in areas where there's been huge change in construction, the types of housing that's built, so the demographics of their catchment areas are proving a real challenge for contact sport.
Yeah, they are, and you've seen a lot head over to other sports. Everyone's joining into basketball now, with that being the second most popular sport in all of Auckland and New Zealand as well. And it's important that we have other resources and sources of playing rugby league as well, with the non-contact sport, with the likes of League Tag coming through, Kiwi Tag as well. We see a good little pick up there, low kickoff, interesting tactic there from Northcote.
Yeah, straight along the ground, but it was nicely scooped up by Takaya Williams playing in the centres. This carry is with Woolley, Anthony Woolley. Wakaola pushes to the right. Okay for the Saints just to settle things down after scoring a try. So important when a try is scored to play a sensible, smart follow-up set. And at the moment, they're onto the halfway line, and things are travelling as well as Coach Ieramia would have hoped, as they get themselves set. Some good defensive work here from Houston Holloway in jersey number 11. He's the captain for the Tigers today. And it'll be down the left edge onto the boot here of Dukes Koiva. A tester at the back for Jackson Runga. Takes that comfortably enough. And Jackson Runga, he's across from Rugby, actually, just an 18-year-old, the fullback. I think he was Massey Rugby. Good young bloke. So I popped into the shed, which is not something I normally do, to be honest, Dan, but just the older I get, the more bullshit I suppose I am when it comes to footy. Kia ora, boys. I said you should be proud of yourselves, and your families will be, because you're playing topside Fox. And back in the day, that was really the goal of all players in our code. Of course, sadly, many now look at professional sport and think, if I can't make it in that sort of area, I won't go at all. So, I've got a lot of time for blokes who train Tuesdays, Thursdays. This is the heart of rugby league, and the Fox Championship has been that for many a year here in Auckland. Yeah,
it has, and it's interesting to see how many of these boys have really stuck through the grades and really grinded out. And, as you've said, a lot want to chase that dream across the ditch. And, it's important that we have these pathways that we're bringing now for the younger blokes, and the likes of the Dean Bell Cup and Sean Johnson Shield, and even the growth in the women's game as well, with the Georgia Hale Cup too, with the inaugural year this year. And
it's been a sensational boost to retain players. Yeah, I'm down with that, and agree wholeheartedly too, Dan, because getting pathways for our young people is so vital. And you've got a bloke at the Warriors too who recognises that, trying to emulate what's going on with the success of the Panthers. And we've got some great talent, and some of it on show right here, right now. So it's the Saints who are juggling with the football. Once again, it's Therai. He's clever, got great hands, out wide to Humaka. Beautiful run here too from the centre, who comes towards the line and unselfishly offloads out the far side to Joe Paulila, who scores in the corner for the Saints. He start this one off, they're on fire. 6.5 minutes in, it's try number 2.
You can see Ferre down that right-hand side. He put the kick in, it just got a little bit of a ricochet, a bit of hot potato going on too, and he sprung it out to where the space was, opened it wide, and it was a good little dummy there from Graham Tolfa there on that left-hand side. He showed and goed, and then popped the little ball at the end, unselfish-like too for his winger.
Yeah, good finish. They kept it alive. Dukes Koiva, I remember watching him, I think it was the 20s. He played some rep footy not so long ago, Dukes. He was telling me he's now 21. I think he's a junior for the Akarana squad, maybe through the 16s, but he's certainly a kid with a lot of talent.
Yes, he is, and he's really shown what he's about in the rep footy for Akarana. He's developed this game quite well, and I think it's a young pairing in the half, so it's interesting to see how when they come up against an experienced side like the Point Share Pirates, how they can navigate their side around the footy field. you'll make mistakes, but I think those mistakes will really help with their growth and learning. You know, both the halves are young, and that's what you want. The mistakes won't be bad ones; they're good ones for the future product. Good
learning curve, and to get away, you know, with a bit of confidence out of today's game will be vital, because they'll be coming up against some stiff competition. You see the ball moving around on the tee. It's going to be a bit problematic. This will be a decent kick if he's able to slot it. Here he comes today. Hits it pretty nicely. That's looking okay. Didn't have the gas on it, Dan.
No, it didn't have the gas on it, but it looked nice. That line was perfect. Came swinging back in their right-hand side. 8-0 lead, though, so it's a good start for Marist here.
What a boost it's been for local footy and local sports of all types, with the development of the technology that allows us to stream them. I mean, the chances of getting a game like this through traditional TV channels pretty slim. But nowadays, with the growth in digital capability, you know, we're able to beam sports globally with the professionalism, of course, for our team here at Streamshot. But big ups to the Auckland Rugby League, who recognised that fact some years ago, and that's another example of the wind being problematic here today.
Yeah, it is, and it looks like it's blowing straight over Northcote's shoulder, so I think early kicks are going to be a crucial one here. As we saw previous set, they had Kevin Locke kick nice early in the tackle count, looking for a 40-20, didn't have the legs on it, but, you know, just like that, you don't really want to respond after conceding and kicking down on the full. Not the greatest, but they'll look to aim up defensively here, though.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Nobby, as he's known. This is Kevin Locke. We're all excited by his skills as a teenager. He'd be in his 30s now, wouldn't he, Kevin? But he's a senior figure, and, you know, a willingness to get in and mix it up with young emerging talent is a real credit to how he views the game and what the game's given him over the years. He's an absolute regular at the Māori tournament, and I even saw him getting in some involvement anyway. I think it's in Match Fit, which is a neat kaupapa we just witnessed middle of the week. Big ups to all of those guys who are allowing their personal stories, not their professional sporting stories, but their personal stories being shared to help others. Nice little spinning effort here from Takaya Williams. He's getting himself involved. Into strike zone already, the Saints. Well, they go 3 up, and the ball out wide has gone to ground. Didn't quite see what happened here. We'll go to the referee's call. The ground in good condition. It was sand-slitted one year when we came here. It didn't look very attractive, but at the moment, see all that construction behind the field here. I guess is it more Mount Roskill than Mount Albert? What's your call, Dan?
I'd say it's a bit of both. You know, you're right off the back of Stoddard Road, and then you're right by New North Road, so you're sort of in between that little catchment area, Mount Albert and Mount Roskill, but it's a growing space down here off Owaraka Ave and Richardson Road. You know, a lot of construction been going on since last year.
Dukes again. Yeah, well, it's just happening all across the city, isn't it? It does affect, as we touched on, the numbers of young families that are in the hood. And that's been the catchment for the game for so very long. So changing circumstances, nothing's changed here in the fact that it is tough, it is uncompromising, and some big D going on there from Lupini Koya, who was able to upset the run here. Will back it up. And a scrum feed for the Tigers, and they desperately need some possession. They've been under the pump here for the first 11 minutes, literally. Down 2 tries to 0 and a chance to get the ball finally for them.
Yeah, they've had to do a lot of work defensively, as we saw that crash play there for Whaleloa Maleo. They're trying to really barge their way over Marist, but I think what they've done well, Marist, so far is persisted down their right-hand side, got a couple block plays in, and the likes of Ferreira out the back door, and he's really put in Monaco Powell off the back of that. But yeah, Northcote needs some ball. They're starving. They need a good sandwich or two at half-time with this pill.
Well, they've got it now, and important they use it well. Get to the back end, use the wind to get it downtown, and really start forcing the play into the Saints, who've had all the possession, all the field position, and as such have come away with 2 quick tries. But now's a chance to have a look at the Tigers. And again, acknowledging the efforts there. David Barner, their coach. They're a very proud club, and they've had huge success, both in the Fox Championship, Bartercard Cup in particular, as well over the years. It's been a tough few seasons in many ways, mainly to do with attracting personnel to the code on the north side. The kick downtown is taken in here by Joe Puila, and he's wrapped up in a decent sort of a tackle as well. Ball and all effort, And a nice tackle put on there by Morgan Timothy Cook. He's one of the most experienced in the Tiger in the Tiger squad. He's in his early 30s now. As Koiva goes into dummy half here. You're watching Auckland Rugby League live streaming. And this is the opening qualifier of Fox of 2023. Some great games going on around the town today too, Dan.
Yeah, there are. We'll try and update you through the live scoring on all the other grounds, so we'll keep you involved on that. But this one here is going to be an absolute belter of a clash. You've already seen Marist get the early running, but I think that last set from Northcote wasn't too bad. They kicked nice and early in the tackle count and got a bit of space, but looks like it's just easy meters when they spring down this right-hand side for Marist.
Anthony Wheely with a strong run. His today once again threads the needle here and puts it into the in goal, but shadowing it nicely is Jackson Runga, and recognises that it's best not to be played at. As you can see, the wind is an issue here, not just for the players, our camera staff too. I can bet they'll be rock and rolling up there in our broadcast spot today. But it's great to be with you, Dale Husband, and Dan McKenzie sharing some time with you in commentary. Hope you're enjoying the action here from Murray Halberg Park in Tamaki Makaurau, round one of this famous Fox Memorial. There's plenty of people ask about the name Fox and how it came to be. You know, you're all up on that, aren't you, Dan?
No, I might not be a little up to that. You know, it's a little before my time. Only still a young'un, as we see it early.
Before my time too, bro. I can give you a tip. There's the downtowner. It's fielded at the back. Taken in here by Javan. Mariko Powell, bit of a step for him. A tackle by Reese Samu for the Tigers. 20 metres out from their own line here and 15 to the right-hand side of the post. As Tere sends it up and finds Langato. He's lost the football, but it has gone backwards. No, it's the Tigers who have the ball right in front of the post. Here's their best opportunity so far in the game. And this is Koya with a surging run towards the line. He's pulled down just 5 metres out from the line and dummy half. Locke has a look around. A settler first up. Drage works it wide, finds Samu. And then their own worst enemy is the pill going wide to Hemi McCarthy. Doesn't stick. And the Saints will breathe a sigh of relief. We'll get the Scrumpy 10 out from their own line.
Yeah, they will, and they turn the ball over inside their 20 as we see Northcote try and spin it wide early. And just in that situation, you know, you've got an early tackle count, you want to hold the ball, create some pressure, and I think they're just trying a little too hard to put some points on the board, you know. Early first hit out of the season for all these guys, and, you know, you can just see a few nerves coming out there from Northcote. You know, they've had the ball down in good field position, and they want to make up for it here with a extra strong defensive set.
Yeah, a little bit of a rush of blood, wasn't there then? I'm with you. It should have gone deeper into the set. It was their first time in that prominent attacking position, and that pass at that time wasn't needed as we see a break. Lovely ball too. Larry Graham Tofa, easy to recognise with his red headgear, but to the Tigers' credit, they scramble in cover defence and pull him back. This brings on Mariko Powell with a good run too, the fullback. One right receiving, quick play the ball, the back rower now delivers up, and then they send it back on the inside too, and there's some solid D coming in on Xavier Payne, who's put away here, 25 out from the line. Dummy half work for Omua Falelua Malio. Here he is today. He's problematic today. Well, he's a skillful runner of the football, and that's try number 3, 15 minutes in. And the Marist Saints on their home soil, doing it for their fans of whānau who have come out to watch them today. But note the name, because you'll be seeing plenty of him this year. That's Emmanuel Tere, and he's a class act.
You know, he saw that space back up the inside there. He had a runner with him too, and all he had to do was show and go, and the rest was history. A little bit of a fin came out there just to shake off the extra dust and cobwebs, but again, you know, ball in two hands is all halfbacks should look. Engaged in the line, deep in there. Throws, breaks off one, and it's an easy try, and he's been the heart, the architect of all the points so far, created everything. Hasn't got too many kicks to go his way off the tee, but I think this is an easy one for him to knock over here.
He should get this one as well. Yeah, he's got a bit going on in his game, hasn't he, this guy? Emmanuel Tere. He was able to wrong foot Reese Samu, who was coming across the second row to try and effect the tackle, but his fleet-footed Fijian ways got him through to slice the dice and to score, sweat pouring from his brow. Isn't it great? Fijian people are having a huge impact on the game. Perhaps not as much here in Aotearoa as across the Tasman, but even to see the imagery of the Fiji Drua and Super Rugby has been really exciting for the people of Fiji who love contact sport, rugby or rugby league. That's by the by for them. They're big and athletic and very mobile, and some of their guys are just fabulous athletes. Look at how many Fijian wings there have been. Oh well, better get a shot of a dog, I think, because that's part of the Fox coverage. You've always got to find a kuri. You're going to find the Fox dog out there. Yes, so 3 quick tries and a conversion. So we're looking here at a bit of work. Proudly sponsored by Pete the Painter.
Pete the Painter. He's done well there. Pete the Painter. It looks like the clubs need a little bit of a touch from Pete though. They're looking a little bare on the bottom.
Yes, I was had a bit of a yarn to the score man. He had 38-0, I think it was, in the early game, the reserves. Well, that's a good boost here. Xavier Payne, a bit of a painful effort for him when he looks on as well. See the way that Nobby kicked the ball, it was facing towards the club rooms. And Xavier probably won't be too happy with that. Marist Jr., his 3rd year playing topside too for the 21-year-old. But they've played well, so they can afford a couple of mistakes. 14-0, 19 gone. First coverage for 2023 of the Fox Championship, and they're going short, where it is taken skillfully as well by Sione Langatau. Well, I think they might have been watching Cam Munster, who seems to prefer the short dropouts, Munster, and you're always a chance. You're a 50-50 chance when you launch it up high. It was a good kick.
As we see a little mouse trap there, you haven't seen that brought out since the
1970s.
In a while now.
The old mouse trap, eh, Daniel? Here they come, the Saints.
Used to have a couple boys I went to school with who were ex-Marist St Juniors, one playing rugby over in Queensland now, Mike Villiger, and his cousin Holyfield Caston. There's a nice break there and a good ball.
Oh, beautiful for Uamaka, and it's try number 4. They're going boom-ski, boom at the moment here, the Marist Saints. They are all over the Tigers, and the whole shots are just too easily achieved at the moment. So some tardy defence from the Tigers. Okay, it's just game number 1, but even so, you've got to shore up your D much better than that, or else this is going to be a huge score for the Marist Saints. This run is fine here from Whalelua Malio.
Yeah, nice fleet footwork at the line. He's got a good support play. That's what you always want. The basic 1% is shown right there. Ball in 2 hands. Support player on the left. It's a good little try, but then it goes back down to that short dropout. It's a 50-50 play. They got it back, and after that, it was all she wrote it.
McLean Uamaka, 21 years of age, and that's how you want the tries to come. Laid on beautifully by the back rower, who sensed the opportunity early, gassed through the hole, and was able to deliver a fine ball for his second rower to finish off. Well, at the start of the game, I guess, Dan, we were both assuming this would be a very hard-fought contest, but at the moment it's one-way traffic here. The Saints have been very impressive. Today adds the extras, not unexpectedly. 20 points to 0 already. And I'm not quite sure which way that wind is going. Maybe one of our cameramen can pick up a sight. What is the flag in the background, which would suggest that the wind is very much at the back of the Tigers here. So to be down 20 is even more concerning for David Barner.
Yeah, it is, and you'd think when they're just about to put some pressure on, they either come up with an unforced error like that previous set where they try to spring it wide, or, Marist Saints with a good 50-50 play getting it back off a short dropout it was, and we'll see if Kevin Locke can recreate some magic off the kickoff again. As you said, Dale, look at the way the ball's facing, and they've got the wind at their backs, Northcote, so they really want to utilise it in this first half here, try and get themselves back into the swing of things.
They need some pill, and they need to get to the back end of their sets, that's for sure. Nicely taken from really the man who's been the star of the show at the moment. But look, in rugby league, it's a game for all physiques, all sizes. And the prop forward gets up there, Akaula. He's not a tall man, and he's chunky. I say that respectfully. But those physiques can be very useful too. Just bundles his way forward, and sets the stage for those who follow in his footsteps. And here we go with the omnipresent physique, I guess, of our back rowers. Going about 105, tall, and like I say, there's room for everyone. You've got some little blokes who are crafty, your halves, of course, and then some solid work being put on here. Siua Latu has come on in jersey number 15. There's the shunt onto Nico Drage. I thought it might have been a Draghi. I did ask him. He says Drage, so that'll do me if that's the way he's fun to use it. Here's Tere, which he says was the Ray, but the C in Fijian language is pronounced TH. So, tricks of the trade, eh?
The more you know, the more you know.
Sort of suss that out. If there's a B, there's a M in front of it, but so I had a Fijian maybe, you see. Great cook. Good carver.
Yeah, I heard all about that from when we went over the Fijian Cup Nines last year. A few of the boys were on the cover on the first night, I think it was. They got them in, they got them down. Apparently it was pretty good. Hopefully I'm heading off this year to it and should be good. But again, like that, we can see more of the prospects that can come out of Fiji with these Fijian Cup Nines. And
it's absolutely vital here, Dan, isn't it, that the Tigers score next. So they got to find themselves in good field position. Some smart footy is required here. Not too adventurous, not too flamboyant, just conservative, through the guts, earning the right to go. And here is another little faux pas. Resumption, Paul play the ball. This is exactly what we're talking about. I don't think that they've finished off a set well yet. And we're 24 minutes into the game.
No, really struggling to complete their sets, and it's a lot of one-out running. I think they might want their backs to just try and chime in a bit more when they do get the ball back in their own end. As they showed before, they got the penalty, got downfield, but it's just an unforced error that's really hurting them so far. And I think Marist Saints are taking full advantage of that. You can see the difference in line speed when Marist get the ball on a hit up. They're really putting it in. Northcote's defensive line's a bit passive, and it's a lot back through the middle. So we watch to see them target up the ruck there on the set.
Well, they've made a couple of mistakes with ball in hand. Now it is absolutely vital that they focus and sharpen their focus with their D. Well, we've got a chance, and as Marist work their way downfield, you might just explain the structure. We touched on it at the start of our broadcast today, about 4 pools of 4, and they play each other once. Then the bottom team drops into the Sharman Cup, but that allows the top, that'll be 12 teams left after that, won't they? And they play each other once, so 11 games in that particular structure, and then a final series of 3, maybe 4 weeks. But it allows something of an opportunity to split the pools. I'll leave the stage to you for a moment, please, Dan.
Yeah, so what we've done is gone with the 4 pools of 4, and you take the top 3 from each. You get those 12 into the Fox, and I think how we've set it up for the pools to start is, you sort of give those outsiders a bit more of a chance that they can progress and showcase their skills in the highest comp that is in the regional rugby league for New Zealand and the Fox Memorial Premiership. And, the likes of Northcote and Marist really up for it, along with, you'll have your genuine contenders in both the Point Share Pirates, Glenora Bears finalists last year, Mount Albert, a young side this year too, who are normally up there as well. Howick Hornets, I think they've recruited well this year from what I've heard, and they'll be looking to really try and push themselves back up to the top again. But it gives, those sort of clubs that aren't on that pedestal of them the opportunity to showcase and really see what they're about, as we see an unforced error there.
And a penalty, and a welcome penalty also here, Anthony Elliott. It's off once again. Another year with the whistle. That's your coach and player, David Barner, who is in to strengthen the hand. He and Kevin Locke probably of a similar age, early 30s. So he's gone on, hopefully, to just steady the ship and remind them that if we play to a structure, we'll get a try back, and that's going to be vital, because one try can just be the spark needed to ignite this Tigers team, who've started flat. As the offload is successfully delivered. This is Yuli with the ball, but a problem here for Emmanuel Today, he's down on his haunches. Bit of a basketball pass back. Nicely picked up here by Drage. Drage is around. He goes towards the corner where he's bundled into touch a metre or so out from the try line. They couldn't capitalise, but concerned at the moment for the number 6, the Fijian Flyers. Had such a wonderful game here in the opening 25 or so minutes, 27 minutes. But he was in difficulty. What happened there, Dan?
Yeah, it looked like he copped a bit of friendly fire in that tackle there. I think he might have copped an elbow to the head. It looked like when he swung round, he was coming in from the side and just took one on the melon, but he doesn't look in the best shape, and I think he was out for a little bit there, so highly unlikely if he remains on the field. If he does, and I think it's split the beak as well. He's got a bit of blood pouring out from the nose. But yeah, they can't afford to lose him. He's really been the spark for them offensively, and I think, again, Northcote on that set just a little too sideways. They need to try and punch a bit more through the middle. And
well, there's concern at all levels of sport nowadays. He has stood up and said, no, I'm okay to go on with it. But it would be interesting to see how his connections and the medical staff associated with the Saints react here. It looks as though he is staying on. So some defensive work is imperative here for the Tigers. Looking at 4 tries to 0. If you've just joined us here on our live stream across the globe from Murray Halberg Park, fullback scored early on, just a couple of minutes in, followed out by Poiva Thirei and Huamaka. So 4 tries to 0, a couple of them converted also, as we see a decent run, a smart run too from Williams.
That's what they've done well there, Marist. They've really tried to push back through the ruck. You can see it opening a little bit. Northcote's passive line is sort of playing into their hand a bit, and they're trying to go punching through the middle, and you've already seen a couple tries out there. One scoop from dummy half and another just there, almost breaking through the line. So I think pushing through the middle for Marist is going to be key off that, and then that allows the likes of Tere on the back, and he can just navigate his way around that right-hand side, which he's done all game so far.
Well, in support of his mate who took a whack, seems that Koiva has stepped up and giving Tere an opportunity to just come good. He's out here towards the broadcast side at the moment, but the number 6 has taken it upon himself to steer the ship from the middle. Number 22 is in there for the Saints. We'll have a word to them later, won't we, Dan?
Yep.
We haven't.
Saw that a lot during the Sean Johnson Shield and Dean Bell Cup. The boys love to play what's my number today, and you know, it's not the best on the eyes when you see one wearing 25 and he was named as 17. It's
off-putting, but from the commentary position, it feels like we're being disrespectful, and we're not. Obviously, we wouldn't deliberately call guys different names, but some are so, I guess, focused on getting ready for the game, they're not really thinking about commentary. Yeah, I can understand that, but it'd be nice to give credit where credit's due. That's what I'm talking about. So if some of the name calling as a result of jerseys is inaccurate, it's not that we don't care. It's just the systems have slightly let us down. So here we go with the Tigers. This is important. Lovely ball. Out past Tere, stepping back on the inside, but it seems there's a piece of shepherding that went on there. Your thoughts, please, Dan?
Yeah, it looked like he just held up in the line there, the outside runner off the back of that, and then swung around the back, as we see. I think there was Nico Drage off the back, and yeah, you can see him just hold up. There's one in the line, and then again we saw a little bit of a scoot around the back door from Hemi McCarthy, who also looked like he'd done a bit of an obstruction there. But it's not the most convincing defensive line there from Marist. Saints quite a bit conjointed, who's going forwards, who's going back. They'll breathe a sigh of relief though on that one.
Into the last 10 minutes. Marist, David Dixon with the football here. And just laying on the tackled player for too long. In fact, there might be as you can see by the referee's call, untoward in the middle. Today seems to have found his feet again. He kicks for touch and on the 30 metres. Great to have you with us. This is Murray Halberg Park in Auckland. We're undecided if it's Mount Albert or Mount Roskill, so we'll say both. Proud home ground of the Marist Saints, and this is round 1 of the 2023 Fox as the back rower. Falelua Malio gets the Saints in striking distance. Looking to notch up try number 5. Numbers on the outside as Koiva gets the ball. Doots to ground. He's just a couple of metres away from the try line. Sliding in quickly, Zakoula gets it across to Thale, and he looks for the bulldozer who comes to work this time around in the form of Halalova. He's to his feet, thinking about the opportunity from dummy half. Right in front of the post and just a metre away from the try line. Danger time here for the Tigers. Can't afford to concede again. The kick is wide, beautifully taken too. Hats off to the man out on the far side of the field. That's the only Langato. This time, Williams. Apologies. Got that one wrong. First of many. That's the Tigers who have it. Timmy McCarthy climbed up for them. Looking at me, wrong sheet of paper. So the Tigers, they need to hang in here. Can't afford to concede another try. That is for absolute sure. Timothy Cook sends it back on the inside. 20 out from their own line. Well, they'll be starting to drag the chain a little bit too. Fast and furious. You can do all the pre-season training you like. There's nothing like game day. You're getting game fit. Unlike what you witness, in professional ranks, as a chip and regather is on the cards here. It's nicely taken, but who is there? It's Thale, managing to get the ball loose on the far side of the field. This is nice work. Timothy Cook has it back on the inside for the finish. Holloway to the line. Oh, that is class. That's a superb effort. And the Tigers go length of the field here to get one back, and at a very opportune time with 7 to play in the first half.
Yeah, and it all started back in the middle of the field there with Kevin Locke with a little chip play on the last, and they regathered it back. He was looking for support, was Nico Draj, and he found it out wide and really looked to keep it going. They needed an offload. They got one. They found it in the corner, and it was just wonderful work there from Northcote. They went through the middle. Little offload, they couldn't hold on. And again, Drudge looking for it. It looked like it was touched there, not signalled by the ref. Anthony Elliott, look, he's seen a big dummy over the head. He's still going, ball in one hand. And then crossing Houston, Holloway just had to bump off one and then go over the line.
Yeah, that was a great work out wide. And Houston Holloway, the benefactor as well. He's been playing for the Tigers since he's, just a nipper. He had a couple of years playing for Burleigh over in Oz in the Gold Coast there, but he's been a Tiger all his life and pleased to be playing back in the squad. It's a great lead-up work too. You quite rightly pointed Drage, who got along to Timothy Cook, experienced hand. Plenty of work to do for both of them, to be honest. And the second rower was there to finish it off, and Captain Holloway. So that's exactly what this team needed at this point in the game. They've conceded 4, they get one back. Now Locke with a chance to put 2 on the board for his squad. Reads it beautifully. And the fade in for the 2 points. Even the ball boy smiles as well. So good crowded today. Lots of proud family members. As I say, the Fox is still a very popular competition among rugby league followers. Not just here in Auckland either, but globally. And that was a great finish. So good play and a timely effort. 20 points to 6 is your scoreline here, and we've got just on 5 to go here in the first half at Murray Halberg Park. Great to have you with us, live streamed across the globe in association with all of Auckland Rugby League's partners, who Dan can list without looking at paper.
Yeah, we've got Farrelly Photos, Stream Shopping with us today. Really appreciate what they do. Dan in the box from Stream Shop as well. Pleasure for them helping us cover as we see it go out on the full, and the response there from Marist isn't the best one. They walk slow back to halfway, and Northcote again on the attack. 5 minutes left.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? You just need to hold your nerve, get across the line, and that's a mistake for Marist. They haven't made many so far in the game, but there you go. Concede a try, converted, and now an opportunity for the Tigers to get themselves straight back into strike zone. Just over 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Wouldn't it be great for the Tigers if they're able to cross and get another try? So on the 20-metre line, they will take the football. Let's see what strategy they invoke here. The tap is taken by Timothy Cook. He looks to the big man to carry first up. AJ Joubert with the football here. And now the Tigers, full of confidence. That's really put a boost. A shot in the arm, if you will. Numbers out wide. Drage still with it. The 12 thought about going out wide. He doesn't deliver this time around. He's to his feet. Reece Samu. On to Drage, goes to acting half. Popped pass, still alive. Beautiful play. It's out to Locke. Here's your try scorer. Holloway, the skipper, the spin. And the corner is there for Timothy Cook, but he can't get the ball down. Good D coming across. Sliding defence as well. Here from the Saints. Under the pump at the moment. The Tigers issuing the challenges. Out it comes to Holloway. Half volley pickup. Nicely done by Tafiti. And that's been knocked down by Thuray. 6 more coming the way of the attacking Tigers. They've got some growl on at the moment and then getting muscled with a Jackson Urunga. Getting heavy-handedly put away there by Takaya Williams. Out of dummy half. Line in sight. Darting towards the line. The Saints are not on my watch. And the tackle is made there by Halalova. Referee is in here as well.
Couldn't see what that call was there. I think it must have been head contact around the face. It looked like in the ruck there and really pushing it over. But what we've seen from David Barner, the player coach, since he's come on the field, is a bit of injection of an offload. You know, second phase has really been their thing. Northcote, as he goes close to the line. Barner, ooh, he's flirting with it there. He can smell the line.
Out to the right. Good half volley pick up there from Locke. He keeps it alive on the far side. Morgan Timothy Cook is with us. He couldn't quite get there. Great scrambling D by the Saints. Out of dummy half. A bit of shunt and grunt. And the try's in the corner. Looks good from here, and it looks good to Anthony Elliott as well. Well, a timely try. Let's get the number out wide there. Just full of confidence. Went into dummy half and then hammered his way home in the corner.
It was interesting. We'll try and get the player who that is for you, but you know, they looked like it was all show and go, and it's the winger, it's number 5. I think that's Albert Salakai there taking that one. He crashed in, he was held up for so long, spinning, and he's able to just work himself around. You can see the Marist defenders there, one up on the ball, and when he got one-on-one, I think it was all she wrote after that. He could smell the line, he could see the line, and he scores.
Yeah, that's solid stuff. He had a lot of work to do there. There are plenty of defenders. But Albert Talakai looking just the goods, just what the doctor ordered. Nice story there. He didn't play footy last year. His dad passed over some land back in Tonga to him, and so he went up to prepare the plantation, literally. So I said, what are you growing? He says, I'm growing cassava. What else are you growing in Tonga, he says. So he's back in New Zealand, and that's a nice try for the 21-year-old. So here he is, Kevin Locke. He's been a tiger for life, really, Kevin. Let's see if he utilises the wind in the same way that he did last time. It was a classy effort. And Nobby, always willing to turn out for his club. Lined her up. Did a superb job last time. Let's see if he can emulate that. Hits it out. Will the wind take it around? Not this time around. You see the big pads of the ARL, big ups to Auckland Rugby League and it's all of its connections. But a good try, 20-10. Got half time coming up in a moment. And we'll have a look at the tries for you during the break. It was a very entertaining first half here at Murray Halberg Park. Pleased to have you with us. We'll also give a cooey out to a young Auckland team that's in the Gold Coast, and we'll get an opportunity to shine as well. Great to have you with us. Half time here at Murray Halberg, round 1 of the qualifiers for the Fox 2010. It's the Marist Saints leading the Northcote Tigers.
the Fijian Cup, supporting grassroots Fiji. With international teams flying in to go up against the best club teams in Fiji. Over 50,000 in prizes for each sport, the Fijian Cup is placing a spotlight on untapped talent. A tournament like no other.
The Stream Shop are experts in live video content creation, connecting communities by sharing the magic moments as they happen. All sorts of sports, delivered on any platform, to anyone, anywhere in the world. We deliver cost-effective, high-quality production that really changes the game. It's the next best thing to being there live. Shoot it, stream it, share it with the Stream Shop. Proud supporters of the ARL.
Kia ora no, e tiwi, and welcome back. It's Murray Halberg Park, half-time here, and a 2010 scoreline for Marist across Northcote. Some great tries in there, 6 all up, and we'll have a look at how they came to be. It only took a minute or so, and the first try was scored, and it was picked up by the fullback who chimed in out wide, and they got away to a fine start. And they went back-to-back as well, Dan, so, real solid opening 20 minutes from the home team.
Yeah, they had all the running, it looked as Emmanuel Tere down that right-hand side was really the architect of everything. He got a try himself in the end and created the first couple, but they just had all that ball to start. Marist Northcote really couldn't buy one, and I think that one they scored off the short dropper. You don't see it too much getting the ball back and then weaving your way downfield, and I believe it was this one here for the back rower, and Uhamaka there scoring that try.
And at 20-0, you thought, heck, is this going to be some romp in the park? But it wasn't so, because there was a chip over the top. Audacious, once again, we come to expect that from Nobby as well. It was nicely picked up by his teammate Drage, who kept it alive out wide. Fine work from one of the most experienced, in Timothy Cook. And look at him showing it around, eventually managing to get it back on the inside to a skipper Holloway, who was in to score, and nicely converted as well by Kevin Locke. And this was the shunt and grunt effort in the 39th minute, and a lovely try there from Talakai to get them back into the game, unconverted, but still just 10 points behind now. And considering they were looking down the barrel of a heavy scoreline, it really does turn us around. And they'll be fancying their chances here, the Northcote Tigers. Look, while we've got a chance, just want to also acknowledge an Auckland squad that's at the Gold Coast. Young people, but a chance to shine in a different stage.
Yes, so we have our 16s boys and under-17s girls heading over to the Gold Coast today. They'll be playing the curtain raiser for the Gold Coast Titans Broncos game this evening. The quick turnaround for them for the Jetta across the ditch, and then they've got to warm up and be ready. And I think it's a wonderful experience that they'll be able to share with their friends and their family as well, because I know Simon Emir's wife Tash is going over for their daughter Milan, who's playing in the 17s girls, and it's awesome to see that we're providing them this pathway when we haven't done I believe from what I heard Vigo say in the office the other day, that we haven't done an Auckland touring side in quite a long time to play the future Titans. The team is from the Gold Coast Titans, and then possibly there could be more coming in the later future. We'll never know, but we'll see now how they go. And it's awesome to see that the pathway and the stepping stones there for them to showcase their talent. And I know that a lot of the boys and girls in the team will have their families watching back here if they couldn't make the trip over, but I think they'll just relish the experience, and it's a great learning curve for them too, heading overseas. And
hats off to Auckland League for coordinating things to allow that to occur. It was common in the back in the day, but we haven't seen touring youngsters for some time. Give us an update from around the grounds if you can, please, Dan.
Yeah, so it looked like from what I saw before at halftime, Point Chev were up 40 points to 0 over the Pakuranga Jaguars. And it seems that Manukau and Mangere East haven't updated their live scoring, but we've got one from just down the road. It looks like Bay Roskilde Vikings are playing Richmond Bulldogs at 16 points to 4 with the Bay up there, and a surprising one in Papakura Seagulls are up 16 points to 6 over the Glenora Bears. And
wow.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I've heard Papakura have done some good recruiting this season, so they'll look to be really chancing their arm to try and get into the Fox this year.
Yeah, good stuff. And we'll keep you posted to at the back end of today's game, but we'll turn around here. The wind will be favouring the home team here in the second half, but to their credit, the Tigers were able to come back after conceding those early 4 tries and get 2 back. So they'll be a bit buoyed by their efforts in the last 10-15 minutes, and they'll want to start the second half well. Good, enthusiastic crowd in here. Straightforward victory for the home team in the reserve grade game played earlier today. And great to have you with us. Round 1 of the Fox Memorial Championship. The second 40 underway here, and right from the get-go trying something a little bit cagey, a little bit different. Here's Big Dave.
Yeah, the player coach himself, he's on the field. He didn't, I believe in midweek he was named and then he was taken off, and it looks like they've either lost one to warm up or one of their players hasn't turned up, so he's had to strap on the jersey today and caught up with them early, and I think they're really excited for what they have in store, this Northcote side this year. And they've shown in that last 5 minutes, that first half, they really could, when they had the ball down that end, they could create something, you know, albeit the try from halfway where it was on a bit of a counter-attack last tackle, and the other one was a bit of brute strength, you know, and both Holloway and Talakai with the 2 tries for Northcote. And I think a little stoppage here for the Marist player, who might have caught one off that short kickoff, it looked like.
Yeah, could have as well. You mentioned Tash Simon's wonderful Wayne. She too has been a great supporter here of the Marist Saints for a long, long time now. So I'm pleased they'll be a proud family to have their Cortero, their daughter, in the under-17s. And I'm sure we'll hear from Tash as the year unfolds as well. She's always threatened to make him mow the lawns instead of coaching, but seemingly they must have got a lawnmower guy in.
It looks like they have.
So that Simon can come to the footy again. Marist with the football now. 25 out from their own line. They want to just settle things down. On and 14 is Walisian Tale. That's him there. Bana. Really great contributor, David. Good surging run there, powerful run too for the Saints, getting themselves set. Dummy half work here for McFall, who's into the mix. The back rower is Falelua Malio. Lawrence McFall getting the ball on with a lovely, powerful run for Humaka, who scored in that first half. This time though, it looks as though it could be a knee. No, it's an ankle. Big McLean or Humaka. 3 years with Marist now for McLean. Looking where you think some of the opportunities will be here for the Tigers. I mean, it's the experience of Locke. He's got some good follow-up there. Holloway was good last time around, and obviously Morgan Timothy Cook also providing them with plenty of experience. They were both instrumental in the last try, heavily strapped left leg, as you can see, for the second rower, but now it looks to be more of an ankle than a knee situation for him.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. He might have just got trapped under a couple of bodies there, and you know, we've seen that a few in the NRL now with the hip drops coming in. It's they're trying to stamp out. So, you know, last year was the contact with the head, and they've really eliminated that, and you don't see it too much now because it used to be an instant penalty, a straight send-off, and I think the hip drops are the one they want to try and stamp out too. And
it's sometimes hard to police the hip drops, as we see Thilay getting a nice ball on, and this is a fabulous effort too. Hasn't been on for a long time, David Dixon, but gee, that was a beautiful delivery to him, and he enjoyed that one. Was able to spin towards the line. Don't have any information on David, I'm sorry to say, except that he looks like a cool dude. Let's have another little look here. is getting close by. Spinning effort there, couldn't stop him. Tawhiri Hiramaya.
And you can see it there from Thurere. He shaped to go back door. You know, the eye sold it. I think that was a good work from the front lead runner that gave him the space off the back of Deuce Kohiva's pass there, and he really got a bit more space to work with Emmanuel Thurere. And you know, the eyes, they shaped forwards, they looked out the back, and he hit that lead runner straight to the hole. David Dixon, he crossed nicely too. And I think, has he had involvement in almost all of their tries, as Emmanuel Thurere? Looks like he has.
I think he has, Dan. Yeah, he has. And there he is looking to convert. Push them out to 24, 26 from close range. I think he'll be able to guide this one through. That's certainly the case. Dave Dixon, the try scorer, reminds me of a David Dixon who ended up for a time being New Zealand's most highly remunerated sportsman. He ended up in Minnesota or something, playing in the gridiron scene over there. But he was just walking down Queen Street, having come out of a movie theatre, and some guy from the States liked the physique. He's from Pukekohe, David Dixon. I think he's still over there, though. Probably got a soft spot there for the Pukekohe Pythons. Still going. Tuako. Big ups to all of our smaller clubs out in the hinterland, keeping the code alive. Great to have you with us here. Live stream coverage. You'll pick it up each and every week too via the ARL. And one camera footage of most games available on the website for the ARL also. So let your mates know. Offshore, here's your try scorer Dixon with another powerful carry. Saints are looking pretty good here so far today.
Yeah, they've started the second half how they started the first, all the running and all the ball, and I think Northcote just trying to get players on the back, you know, slow that ruck speed down, because as you can see, he's just back up the middle again, and there goes the captain, Whalelua Maleo, taking that run, and he's made plenty of metres there.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? I will be reliant on him through season 2023. Here's Koiva, nice ball, and again, danger times, but the Tigers able to survive. Let's just see where we are here. Turnover of possession. Yeah, it was the last play. Referee Elliott is asking the boys to calm down a little bit and play perhaps on the spot. We haven't got him mic'd up. What do you think he's saying there, Dan?
I think he would have just been telling the boys just to calm down. You play to my whistle, you don't play to your own rules, and let me do the refereeing. I'm the one in charge here.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Dan. Dan actually heads Kiwi Tag for Auckland Rugby League. It's a very important element to the growth of the game. Kiwi Tag, what would you say of its role in attracting and retaining players in our code?
I know it's been crucial so far for the likes of the North Shore clubs, who usually have smaller juniors than what other clubs do, and it gives them that stepping stone and another way to just keep them involved and active. You know, non-contact is how a lot of sports are going nowadays, and I think Kiwi Tag and the likes of League Tag coming through as well, which will be on offer for all the senior grades again next year at the start, before pre-season kicks in. It's just another way that we can keep and retain all these juniors. You know, Kiwi Tag and League Tag are those stepping stones to then lead into contact, you know, with the help and likes of our tackle confidence program, you know, safe tackling, ensuring that everyone's safe in what they're doing and having fun while they're doing it. And I think Kiwi Tag's the best way to make sure kids are having fun without worrying about the whole stress of contact and tackling.
Good on you, Dan. And I fully agree with what you're saying there. Here's an opportunity down the right edge. Little dummy towards the line, and a great finish. Superb finish there for Joe Po'ohila, who is in the score for the Tigers, and they bounce back with a try of their own, and it couldn't have come at a more important time.
I think that might have been Albert Talakai there again, Dale.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, what have I done here? Haven't swapped my pages around. That's the Tigers, yeah, apologies. Yeah, so it is Talakai. Sorry to your whānau there, my mate. Another good effort here from the Tigers. Well, Talakai, eh? What do we know about him? Albert Talakai. This is the cassava grower for Tonga.
Yes, it is. Second try of the day, and you get to see them shaping out their right-hand side. A few numbers down there, and that nice face ball across. Really baited in the winger from the Marist Saints, and I think it might have been Mr. Kevin Locknobby, who threw that beautiful cutout ball for Talakai. He had support on the inside. He said, I don't need it today, mate. I'll go over myself. But, you know, it's a good strike back there from Northcote. They needed to be next to score and just try and swing momentum back into their favour.
Well, he's the man we mentioned. Lock. This will be a good one if he slots this. It's a tough conversion attempt. Hasn't taken it back very far. The wind is strong. He's only 15 metres out. About 5 in from touch. Is that going to bring it around? Not quite, but the thinking was right. Actually, in the end, it's the upright. Bit of a smile on the face. Kev, 26-14. Well, that's just what the doctor ordered here for the Tigers.
I think it's going to be important here for Northcote just to complete after scoring. You know, coaches emphasise ball security and that and possession after you've scored a try, and just ensuring that you're able to get down, kick for a corner, or really put a roll on. And I think Northcote have done well to combat what Marist have offered through the middle, but it's going to be crucial for them to get quick play the ball speeds, because you can see a little bit of contrast in the size of forward packs here from both sides. You know, Marist have a few wider, rangier back rows than what Northcote do, as they're a little on the smaller side.
So the Tigers have the football, and it's their big number 10 who takes it in. Well, the Saints certainly haven't got away. They were 20-0 up, and a mistake here. So Anthony Elliott is, well, it's a bit of wind around today, though. There's no doubt about that there. Dan McKenzie in today from Auckland Rugby League, and it's the start of a great season of footy. We'll keep you posted as we can. You're always welcome to go onto the website too. Just dial up ARL. It'll take you through with a comprehensive website. It's really classy too. And this day and age, it's important that you do. This is your shop front window, and it'll keep you posted on games to come, draws, results, not just of the top side, but right through all the grades. As we see the Saints again starting to get into the mix here. So it's a big forward to the back row. Falelua Malio, he's been very good today, wrapped up by Hedemia with assistance from Holloway. The big number 12 has the ball. Really looking for an opportunity. Manako Powell for Marist. Koeva spreading out to Thirei. He's been a real thorn in the side today, and he's lost the football, and it's pounced on by Jordan Hart. So the scrums being set on the far side of the field. We're still very much keeping themselves in touch. They're 12 points down at the moment. Northcote, that's doable with a half hour to play.
Yeah, plenty of time still to play, and we've seen stranger things happen in the under-16s final between Marist and Mangere last year, where Marist were down 20 points to 6, and they came back 16 unanswered points with, I think it was about 6.5 left to play, and I was on commentary for that one, and it was an enthralling battle between Marist, and they have some good quality juniors coming through. As we see a little break.
Easy. Too easy. And to Kyle Williams, and to score, but well, the defensive work there just wasn't up to the challenge. He's quite a big centre too, so he was able to peel back the metres. Did all the hard work himself, to be honest. Used the referee as a bit of a shield. The defensive effort not up to it that time around. And the centre able to score in the corner.
Yeah, I think they were a little worried about Thirei out the back door there. It would have been an easy 2-on-1 if he got the ball, and Takaya Williams there just crosses. He had a little bit of work to do. Shook off one and got his way over the line. It's a thoroughly deserved try, and they pushed that lead out again. And it's been a little bit of back and forth to start the second half, and you wouldn't say Northcote are out of it just yet. You know, the margin's only 16 with just under half an hour left to play, as Thirei looks to add the extras. He hasn't had the best day with the kicking boot, but other than that, he's been perfect on the field.
Yeah, he's been great. He took a shot midway through that first half. For a moment, we thought it might have ended his afternoon, but not so. This, again, will be difficult. He'll be wanting to aim well left and hope the wind will drift it across, as we saw Locke do with one of his conversions in that first half. Well, this time trying to curve it around. Does it have the legs? Not quite. That's two that have been accurate, but not quite strong enough. Murray Halberg Park, home of the Marist Saints, our venue for round one of the Fox for 2023. If you've just joined us today, 4 pools of 4 play for a month or so, and determining the top 3 will move on to Fox play, and the bottom 3 will effectively go to the Shaman Cup. And then later, obviously, we've got the Fox Premiership, the Fox Championship, I think it is, also. But the structure is sensible under the circumstances. And ball just a little difficult for Locke at the moment, getting blown off the tee. Great to have you with us, though. Me, Dale, Dan McKenzie, and for your commentary for the first time in 2023. We're enjoying seeing the action of these young athletes. Hope you are too. Plenty of commitment on show. Early days. And that's a penalty, unnecessary too. Javar Malika-Powell, I think from Marist, sort of got his hand in there when it wasn't much doing. And Hedemeier looks back, and you call from the skipper Holloway as to what he wants done. Sionatali gets the pill on the resummit. Tafiti Hedemeier from dummy half. Locke is first receiver, holds it up and then puts it up on the inside to Holloway. Back it comes, out wide. Hemi McCarthy with the football. Towards centre field, the big number 8. Settles it down with a run. Across the top, Lawrence McFall in 14. Back it comes to Locke. Cut out ball. Quite pick up out wide, but now we have. Talakai still alive. The ball's gone backwards. Timothy Cook looks for an opportunity through the middle of the track as it goes to McCarthy this time. A little bit sluggish, and finally some juice in the tank, and pedal to the middle this time around for Nico Drage. Back on the inside for Samu. Samu's towards the line and looks to spin and deliver, but did he get the football down? The referee says niet. No, he didn't. But we will see a penalty going away to the attacking team. 30-14, 25 to play here. Tigers want to bounce back. They need to score next. Out it comes to Locke, so instrumental in all the runs that they have. Koya straightening, charging, and unnecessarily delivering the ball. Ends up in the hands of a Marist Saint. And Lawrence McFall says thank you very much. Little rush of blood to the head, didn't need to deliver that pass there.
Yeah, you just need to hold on to that one there. Still have plenty of tackles left in the set, and like you said, Kevin Locke looks to get his hands on everything, and I think what they're doing really well, Northcote, is that but a second phase is really conjointing that Marist defensive line, you know, pulling one forwards, dropping one back, and they did that a lot when David Barner came on the field, and they had really good joy from it, as we see a nice little break down the left-hand side. That's Takaya Williams there, previous try scorer for the Saints.
Yeah, he's got something going on, Takaya. He's a big centre, and he picks his moments to accelerate. This is Halalova. Saints looking to deliver the hammer blow. Out wide we come. Wheelie onto the foot, the grubber kick into the in goal, and almost to pick up as well. But that's been knocked on now, and so nice little work there from Graham Taufa coming through. Turnover of possession.
It was good sleight of hands down that left-hand side. They're able to just work it on the last. You know, you normally don't see a big back rower getting the ball on the last tackle, but he was able to drop it off down to Graham Sofa, and he put a nice little boot in. Unable to just clean it up was Pahulia there.
The Tigers, well, they dodge a bullet that time around, because another try at this stage of the game would be a real hammer blow to them. They have the football here. What might they be able to deliver with ball in hand? This is Vale Jordan Hart. Some of these young guys really getting a taste of what's expected here. This is Male Tuitupo.
23 to go.
Still at it. Tuitupo out of the rugby scene for Massey. Hiramaya gets the ball and an opportunity down the right edge here. Nice effort. Still a run down the left edge. Wisely just checking himself. Coming back in. This is Talakai involved here. Here's Locke. Looks for the kick and regather. They'll get another set to the Tigers. Problematic for the man who retrieved the football. That's the skipper, Holloway. Down the short side, they're trying something different with Timothy Cook. Wrapped up by his opposite number, Graham Dofer. Hyphenated names, you should get double the pay. But anyway, that's another story. We'll get on to that another time. Down the right side they come. Mind you, if they subtracted by mistakes, we'd end up going, well, anyway, going home with no dough. It's good to be with Dan McKenzie, eyes and ears of Auckland Rugby League. Really pleased to be involved and studied sport management and the like, so it's all part of his career journey. Looking at the admin side of sport, that's another solid piece of D on the far side of the field. Tigers with possession. Out to Drage. The big unit lines up. Koya. Boom, says Koya. 1, 2, and goes towards the line. Did he manage to get the ball down? That's the question. The referee says, I'm okay with it. And the Tigers celebrate as well. They might too. What a powerhouse run from the big man.
Yeah, he was just able to get that one was Koya and just run back at the angle after we saw a big shot there from Langato on the wing. And you can see it. Drudge just drops into his big front row and no line speed there from the Saints, and they were just all at ease. And then he reaches out, scores. They look to try and sell it as a bit of a fibby. He didn't score it, but the big fella, nice little run, good hands, and he was able to reach out and get a 4-pointer and just drag them back into this game again.
Very much so. Yeah, that's exactly what they needed here with a quarter game time still to play. Well, plenty of tries, which often happens in early season games, doesn't it? Scores, defensive work, still a lot to work on. As I say, well, would it be match fit, as the saying goes? 30-18. Picking that Kev should get this one from close range. We'll have a 10-point ball game. But Koya showing some power on the boil on debut too. Actually, spent a couple of seasons in France playing rugby. The big guy, Koya, but on debut in the Fox. 2 years playing. I think he said it sounded like the Punjaja rugby club in France. Sounds more like something in Pakistan or India. But anyway, he's back, and one of his mates has come on down, and here he is. Good try to him as well. Koya, we'll see a bit more of him going forward. So 20 to play. The tries have come thick and fast. There were 6 in the first half. Already we're seeing 4 in the second. Hope you're enjoying the action. This is the qualifier. We'll have another look in and see if there's any more changes in the scorelines around the traps. Digital Dan's on the case there for us. Yeah, so the Tigers really starting to grow in confidence here. Bit of self-belief coming in. They would have been a bit rocked at a 20-0 scoreline.
Nice! Go on, Billy!
And he's Hiramaya. Trying to weave some magic, really coming to his own now, Tafiti Hiramaya. Played a few topside games last year. And as I speak, it looks as though he's gone down. Mostly in reserve grade, though, for the Tigers. Hiramaya, any updates available there, Dan?
It looks like Richmond Bulldogs have turned the tables now. They're up 22 points to 20 over Bay Roscoe, and that one's going to be a nail-biter just up the road from us. And as we see Otahu, they extend their lead over the Otara Scorpions, 34 points to 10, and I think Point Chev have extended theirs to the half-century mark, 58 points to 0.
They're solid showing from Point Chev. They are the team to beat, as we know. And the scrum's being set here. Some disappointment for the Tigers, who are feeling that they're very much in the hunt, just getting up to play the ball. And every player who loses possession in the play the ball blame someone else.
Yeah, that's normally the case, and I used to do that back when I was playing in the front row in the restricted grades, along with the likes of Isaiah Vangana, who's in the New South Wales Cup side for the Warriors, and one Riley Price, son of Steve, who made his debut for the Cowboys the other weekend. It looks like he has travelled over with the Cowboys and is on the bench again tonight. Be awesome to see him, because I'll be heading down to Mount Smart to watch him play, and really awesome to see him progress through the grades and up in North Queensland there.
Yeah, good on you, and lovely that whakapapa lines in our game are very common. Were you guys? Where did you guys play your footy together, Dan?
We were just down the road at the mighty Mount Albert Lions.
Cool.
All three of us boys were.
Yep. Oh, that's good. And tell me, is the young fella Riley Price, has he got a similar build to his dad, or what sort of shape did he end up?
When we were playing back in the day, he was tall for his age, but he wasn't as stocky as he is now. But I think he's just filling out to look like his dad. He's replicating a middle forward, got the big build. He's got a good slider hand too, so I do see him playing in that 13 role in the future.
Yeah, good. They're still living here, or have they moved over back home now?
They've gone back to the Sunshine Coast, the family have.
Okay. Because for a long time, Steve, after his footy career, had the Four Square or something up there in Waipu, if memory serves me correctly. Back into the action, it's the Tigers who have the football down by 12. That should be 20. Conversion successful?
I think Kevin Locke struck the upright from close range and he missed it.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah.
I just assumed they'd be getting it from close range. That could be a telling factor at the back end. We'll have to wait and see. 17 to play. Great to have you with us. Round one of the Fox, New Zealand's premier club competition. Let's hit a mile now. Up the middle they come. He's powerful. It's Koya once again, and Koya is in there again, going hell for leather. This is Kevin Locke, who goes towards the line. Hennemeyer delivers nicely. Numbers out there, Drage holds it up. Some issues at the back there. Scooped on beautifully from Thalay. Sends it downtown. The chase is on here. That's Drage. And he saves the day, really, for the Tigers, because they were looking very, very threatening, the Saints.
Yeah, they were down that left-hand side. It looks like there's been a little positional change. It seems that Jackson Runga has found himself on this left-hand wing with Hemi McCarthy moving into that fullback spot possibly, or Kevin Locke might be even playing in that fullback spot, as the error just short of the halfway line there.
And it was Javar Monaco Powell who alerted referee Elliott to the fact that there had been a knock on. He would have picked it up himself too, but I'm sure the scrum to be set a couple of metres inside enemy territory as we get another look here. Some solid D, but a wrestling going on, and there he is. Ref, did you pick that one up? Yes, I did, young man. There's Anthony Elliott. 12-point ball game, 15 and a half to play. Dixon Williams in for Marist, scoring the second half. They went to the break 10 up, 20-10. Tries to Talakai and Koya. I thought with that powerhouse run from Koya too, he might have taken them close, but is this Nico Drage? He's got a few issues, an ankle issue by the looks of things there, right? Yeah, he's getting some attention by the medical staff of the Tigers.
You can see his ankle's already heavily strapped, so he can't afford it to be in too much pain, or else he probably won't be able to continue. Nico Drage, and he's really stepped up in the second half along with Kevin Locke. They've had a bit more ball, the Tigers, to work with, and you really want your spine to combine and get that forward running going, and they have. They've got it going well, but it's just errors every now and then have really just hindered their momentum a tad.
So Nico Drage goes to the sideline. By the by, I was calling a game at their home ground, Northcote, one day. This is some years ago now. The fog was on the ground. We couldn't see the players. It was incredible. But, one of those things that stick in your mind. I've been enjoying watching this young guy go. That's Emmanuel Thalay. Keep your eye out for him. I think he'll be a real influence in this year's Fox Memorial. Round one. Great to have you with us. Live streamed across the globe too. This is Afa Kaula. It's his brother who will play the ball to now, Sunia. Out to the right-hand side, the drop-off on the inside with the angled but purposeful run too from the back rower, Falelua Malio. He's pulled down, 10 from the line. Looking threatening here as Koiva gets it on 238. Spins out of 1, almost out of 2. Wrapped up by Tui Tupou. Still 5 metres out from the try line. Looking for try number 3 here, and they send the big man forward. That's Xavier Payne. Was he able to get the football down? I suspect not. That's the way that the referee reads it also.
And it's interesting to see then, again, Marist, they go back to what they were doing well in the first half, just punching through the middle, and we've seen the likes of, was that Falilua Maleo, who's really taken upon himself, leading by example as the captain, going back through the middle. He's got a good sleight of hand too, ball playing's done well. And
so Tigers need to be watchful here, looking for the kick, and it's been deemed a knock-on. Pretty ambitious effort, something a little out of the norm. The grubber kick to the in goal, having just got the ball from the base of the scrum. That'll be a scrum feed to the Tigers, the visiting team here at Murray Halberg Park. Down by 12. Still time to address the deficit. Really pleased to have you with us. Hope you support the Fox Memorial Championship. In fact, all our codes by coming out to the grounds, sponsoring a young team in your local club, making sandwiches for these big brutes to have after their game. Good bunch of guys. They're a great fraternity, the league. Well, the league people across the board. Good people. Unless they've got green and gold jerseys on. Oh, these ones have. I'm talking about those blokes from across the Tasman. Seem to have our measure. So really popping the pass. It's a one-on-one strip, and it's okay. And it's the back rower. Again, Falilua Malio is a clever player right in front of the post. Danger times here once again for the Tigers. Spinning towards the line is Halalova. Quick play the ball. Numbers. Look for Thare. He's got skill. Gets to number 2 towards the line. Scrambling defence. Worth acknowledging 2 here for the Tigers. The big man decides to deliver it up. It's Thare to the fullback, Monaco Powell. And then Powell, he gets hit. 5 out from the try line. Here come the Saints. Want to march in another one. Thare. Koiva. Back on the inside. Here comes the charging, bulldozing effort from Graham Tofa. He comes up short. The back rower comes in. Falilua Malio options left and right. He goes to the former. Koiva keeps it alive. Then they'll turn, change the point of the attack. And it's out there to Thare. And it's as simple as that. Why not put another one on it? Out to 13. Clever stuff. Well, he learned a bit while he's across there in Toowoomba. There's no doubt about that. And what a boost he's been for Simon Elamia here in the Saints strip today.
Yes, he has. He's really controlled the game. You can see them go left to right, back to their right-hand side. And he must have got a shout from taking the field goal, extending that lead. And a 13-point difference is all but what could get you home if the Tigers do score 2 converted tries in the next 11 minutes or so. And it looked like they had them wrapped up, the Tigers, pushing one out, and then that spun it back into Thare. And this takes an easy 20-metre field goal straight down the hey diddle diddle.
He's got it going on, hasn't he? He's a player with a lot of nous, a lot of skillful game management. And he and Dukes Koiva will be a formidable pairing for any that come up against the Saints in 2023. All is not lost, far from it though, here for the Tigers, but it will be a gutsy rearguard effort if they're going to come away with the 2 points today. In saying that, we don't need to look far or think back too far to see huge deficits addressed. Think of the Warriors a couple of weeks ago out there in Cronulla.
Yeah, it was an outstanding performance for the Warriors, gutsy too, and I just loved the post-match interview with Sean Johnson where he said, boys, we're in it. Like, it's been and done what the first half's been and done. We're still in it. We've really got to put ourselves to work, really make sure that we're concentrating and focused. And I think Cronulla scored, was it just the 4 points in that second half, and the Warriors run on, was it 24 unanswered or something like that? It was unbelievable stuff, and just edgy of seat stuff there from the Warriors. And they've already shown they can beat the Cowboys once, and can they make it 2 from 2 this afternoon?
Yeah, well, it's going to be very interesting. I know some of you will be watching this and heading out to the game today, so plenty in their corner, including the the two in the commentary seat today, and I would think as well, those behind the cameras and the like. They gave themselves a chance to retrieve that football, the Tigers, but in the end, turns up for the Saints. Wheelie plays it, delivered up. Koiva, today, playing skillful footy. Yeah, and of course, Cronulla bounced back with a great win last night too, up against the Roosters. And Nico Hines again into everything. The $1 million man, they're calling him. Why wouldn't they? He signed 7 seasons with the Sharks at $1 million a year, I hear. But he's a terrific player, isn't he? Young guys need to watch closely and model themselves on the skills on show, but also the way they get involved. Good players look for work. This guy's a good player today, and that's a good one. The follow-up, the double around, the finish off. Oh, today's on fire today. He's been superb. Star of the show.
Yes, he is. Second try of the day for the young man, and I watched him here in a reserve grade game last year where they were really trying to get it going. They did end up beating the Pakuranga Jaguars, but for a 6, he's got a lot of talk. He really likes to get himself involved, and he was really barking the orders last time, but he's had the ball on a string today. Look at that. Receives the offload after putting one through the front door hole, and just the audacious little weave over the top there, left-handed. Nothing too scary in the end. He did get the ball down, but thoroughly deserves second try of the day, and they extend their lead, Marist.
He's been really good today. And of course, we're also conscious in other competitions whether he would have been there. I mean, such as the seriousness of the HIA protocols. He took a whack. There was a bit of claret coming out of his nose, as we noticed, but he seemed okay to play on, and his medical staff agreed. And look, he's been able to turn on some magic. And for the Saints, they'll be wanting to make sure that he's part of their action right through season 2023. This will be a great boost in confidence for them. Many of the guys on debut. I think there are about 4 guys on debut today. Lani Graham-Topher certainly is one. Joe Pahuila, first time out today. He's a skillful player. Can't say I've heard of the Oki Bears out of Toowoomba. Not even sure where Toowoomba is, to be honest.
Wouldn't have a clue. I wasn't any good at geography back in high school. That's why I didn't take it. More of the sports science man myself I am, and you can see why I'm in this job.
Yeah, it's good to have your expertise too as a co-commentator. I appreciate your input today as well there, Dan. What did you study, mate? What sort of areas intrigue you career-wise? You mentioned sports science, there was sports management, etc. through varsity studies. Talk to us about it for a moment.
So I felt that the way I do it, I always wanted to be involved in sport in some way. You know, I love playing it, still like watching it to this day, and I haven't played in a few years at a high level, but you know, you still go out there, muck around with the mates and play good footy every now and then. But I think just being involved in sport in some way was where I saw myself, and whether that was sport management, doing the admin side, but I found myself in the football development team, so we're out there as well. So I put my hand in both the admin side and the hard working out there side as well.
Kia ora. And the degree you get, your studies, sent you through where and collected what tohu?
So it sent me through AUT. I went there and studied a Bachelor of Sport and Recreation Sport Management. I went and did my placement at Auckland Rugby League in 2021 under the watchful eyes of Viggo Rasmussen, who is my my industry supervisor. So he kept me under his wing, and it was awesome to learn off not just Viggo, but the likes of TJ Ashford, Mary Pussy as well. And we had a few of the young boys coming through now that are really stepping into the roles too. So, and plus the change of what Bex has brought in as well for the organisation is really positive to see. And you can see it with the likes of Alfare Awe Alfano, you know, just creating that positive environment around rugby league. Sometimes it can be seen in the negative light, but we're just trying to make sure that everyone's enjoying it and they get involved and really enjoy the sport like we are.
And you're going well, bro. You're going well. So's Bex, and that's a fine run. Well, it needed no explanation, no description. You saw it with your own eyes. And Sore Langatau with a long-range effort, which really will seal the deal here today for the Saints. But what an entertaining game it's been. There's still a bit of water to flow under the bridge. Let's get another look at it. It came from the scrum feed. Coiver off the back onto Thirday, out wide, and then he busts through and shows plenty of speed. And away he streaks the number 2. Been playing for the club since he was a kid. 3rd year of topside play for the 22-year-old, and he's fast, but maybe not as fast as those houses going up on the perimeter of the field here, somewhere in between Mount Albert and Mount Roskill.
Yeah, we've seen those houses start from the dirt down, and the ones behind us too was all covered with tarpaulins around the back of the fencing, and we've seen it now eventuate into what looks like it's going to be another street joining off the main road out the back here. And you know, the ever-changing Auckland housing market as well, and the new amount of people that come in to New Zealand really like it and stay on. It's awesome to see that we're able to cater for those needs as well, and really providing them what is the beautiful place of Aotearoa.
Good on you, mate. Bit of an overcast day here in Auckland City. Today, is he going to do it again? Can this guy do anything wrong? I would think not. The flags are up this time. He's been accurate, but lacked the kick or the juice to get it over the crossbar, but this time around right on the money. He's been great today. 43-18, an entertaining game of football, but really the stage was set for this victory early on for the Marist Saints. Tries coming the 2nd, 8th, 15th and 20 minutes. They're up 20-0, literally quarter game time. So the Northcote team has shown some fight, without doubt. But they've come back again with Filet and then Langito wrapping things up. 3.5 to play. Time for us to start thinking about some of the young players that we've witnessed here today who you think will be very much worth watching in 2023. Who stood out for you of either team?
We've seen the likes of the halfback for Marist Saints, Emmanuel today, really strung them around the park, but I think the captain in Whalelua Malio there, he's really driven, really created the points for them. But you know, the likes of Jackson Runga fullback and Nico Drudge, who has gone off, he hasn't come back on the field since that ankle injury. He's looked to create a bit of spark, and again, Houston Holloway, I think the captains, you know, they really lead by example for both their sides. Yes, Northcote haven't had the rub of the green and the ball go their way, but I think they've still take the positives out of this game.
Well, it's been a good show here from the Saints. They are always capable. Look, they might sometimes find themselves near the foot of the table, but they always have the ability to strike, even against the most notable teams. Your Point Shares, your Glen Auras, your Tahus, your Mount Alberts. I mean, they're never out, they're never far off the mix. And so Simon Yalamia has got to be pretty satisfied with what he's seen here today. I don't think David Barner will be too disappointed either. There's been a lot of guts shown here today by a team that in recent seasons has struggled to get the numbers because of changing demographics in the suburb over the years. And he's the man who's at the helm, Dave Barner. Good to see him there, and obviously the experience that comes through Morgan Timothy Cook, for instance, through Kevin Locke, and also through Dave Barner, can and will rub off on some of these younger players. They might not even be finished yet, even though there's just a minute and a half to play. Dummy half work here for Tawhiri Hedamaya. I've enjoyed some of his work today as it comes out to Locke. He tries for the Harbour Bridge ball. The pass to finish off just eludes the hand there of Talakai. And that's a shame too, because it deserved a better fate, the effort close to the line in the last minute of play.
Yeah, it looked like he was just about to get that offload at the end there and grab his hat-trick for the day, Talakai. But unfortunately, ball didn't go to hand. And they've shown glimpses of what they can do, Northcote. You know, they've got some nice and direct running along with the second phase. And I think that's what David Barner brought off that bench, really sparked them into life a bit with the second phase. And in instances in this game, they've tried it a little too much, you know, turning the ball over inside Marist 20-metre zone and, you know, really trying to force it too much. But I think they'll just have to let it play, and just it'll come naturally to the boys once they've had the second week of training after this game.
It's Silsua Latu for the Tigers, and in number 15. It's been an entertaining game of football, and isn't that what we are all about? Look, if you've enjoyed today, I hope you'll support the live streaming efforts. As I say, it allows the images and the efforts from our part of the world to be beamed globally. Let your mates who follow the code know and support the live streaming effort. It's the ARL have really streamlined over recent seasons. And speaking of which, acknowledging, of course, Stream Shop, who helped to bring the images, and Dan in particular, our director. Solid D, still on show in the last minute. 80 have elapsed and still going hammer and tong. Zabian Payne, and referee says, oh, that's not what we need. I remind you too, the clock that you see on your screen at the moment is a guide to us, but it's not the definitive clock. That, of course, in the hands of the timekeeper. They're not always in sync, or we're not too far away. 43-18, 20-10 scoreline at the half-time break. And the tries have come thick and fast again. 8 tries altogether here for the Marist Saints. I'll be very pleased with their try-scoring efforts today. Today has just been absolutely spot on. The Fijian half has been nothing short of superb. And just trying something different, but I think that the referee are dissatisfied. And that is the curtain call for game number 1. The qualifiers for this year's Fox Memorial. In the end, a solid victory for the home team, the Marist Saints. Too good for the Northcote Tigers, but an entertaining game of rugby league, and I hope you enjoyed it. 43 points to 18. Dan's going to dash out and get some credit or two from the coaches. Appreciate your work, Dan. Thanks so much, and looking forward to having him in the commentary box throughout 2023. Daniel McKenzie, the head of Kiwi Tag for the ARL. Congratulations to all of our players and those connections who came along to Tautoko here today. And as it turns out, tries are plenty. Dixon, Williams, Thirei, Langatau also scoring in the second half after a 2010 lead. Some fine efforts in there. The number 3 in the Marist Saints also did some good work. I don't think they'll be too disappointed though, Northcote. They've got plenty to build on here. After all, they did rack up 4 tries of their own. And I think we might be already right to go and get some post-match responses. Let's go out to our co-commentator, Daniel McKenzie.
I'm joined by the captain of the Marist Saints. Samir, how do you think that one went for you boys?
Yeah, it was a good game from the boys, but messy. A lot to work on. Quick up to Northcote for the good game.
And your young halfback, Emmanuel Thirei, he was the shining light for you boys today.
Yeah, that's as usual at training. He's always talking. But yeah, good game from Emmanuel.
And how do you think you boys can progress next week, you know, just taking the fundamental errors and looking to change that up?
I reckon just cut out our errors and just keep to the basics, because that's what we're good at.
Now, well, our pleasure having you today and calling your game, mate. It's been an awesome one.
Yeah, see you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, well, he should be pretty happy with his work there today. That's Sunia Akaula. That's his brother who played in jersey number 8. We'll just wait for the corresponding interview too with the reps from the Northcote Tigers.
Joined by the captain of the Northcote Tigers here, Huey, mate. How did that one feel for the boys?
Let's go down and hear from Houston as well. He's with Dan.
And then we showed some promise to get back into the game, but we're too inconsistent, and yeah, the result shows.
You boys had some good sparks throughout the game, and it was created through the likes of Kevin Locke. How do you think he's going to impact your season throughout?
Yeah, he's massive. Obviously, what he's done in his career, his experience, it's going to help us. We've got a young team, so you know, someone like Nobby, you know, the boys listen and you follow. So.
And how do you think you'll bounce back for next week?
Hopefully, a lot better than that. We've got 2 hard games coming up, so and we need to get the win. So. Yeah, we just got to show up for 80.
All good. Our pleasure today to call your game, mate. I hope you best of luck for next week.
Cheers, thanks, bro.
Yeah, thanks, Dan, and thanks to all the connections there who kindly allow us to get it straight in there before celebrations and the like. 43-18, the final score here in the very first coverage for 2023 of the Premier Club Rugby League competition in our country. It's been great having you with us today. And thanks also to Dan for joining us. You'll pick up on the results of all the other games that are played today on the ARL website on behalf of Stream Shop and all of the connections to Auckland Rugby League. It's me, Dale Husband, wishing you well on behalf also of my colleague Dan McKenzie. Listen, you guys have a great day. Enjoy the Rugby League. We look forward to covering Fox Memorial Championship Rugby League right throughout 2023 as we see the home team acknowledging the home crowd with a salute as they depart the field. Too good today for the Tigers. A great victory here in round one. It's the Saints 43 and the Tigers 18.